a premise, I guess, about humanity as a whole is that everything from religion to drugs is trying to alter your consciousness
Yeah.
to get it somewhere different than the daily awareness. And what's kind of crazy is that I guess the daily awareness is partly like what the culture, uh, what the culture of the time sort of programs into you, meaning whatever is like the average consciousness, we kind of adapt because that's the environment that we grow up in. And
Hmm.
then all the different stimulants, the uppers and downers, and the belief systems, they all have some sort of solution that they're presenting on how to change your thoughts, or how to make you feel better, how to make you feel like you got the drive to be active or the drive to party. And I just noticed like we sort of latch on to all these things in a similar way, uh, because there's something either not comfortable or not exciting enough about the daily consciousness that we
All
normally
right,
have.
we just
And I
went
think
back
that's like an
live
interesting
because
thing
oh shit.
to analyze or realize, like, what about my everyday consciousness? Why do I always want to change it?
Mm, yeah, that's a great thought.
No, whatever.
Yeah, I was just
Now we
think
just went back
when you were
live
talking
again.
there.
We just went back live again. We couldn't hear you guys that entire
Oh, we were
time.
down?
So
Damn.
yeah,
Uh,
we're back
well,
live again though.
It's okay.
Now
I'm starting to get
audio's
into the
good.
mode though.
Yeah, you just got warmed up. Good
I
shit.
when you were
Yeah.
talking there, it made me think of that quote in the Urantia book where they talk about housed in a body of clean habits. Do you remember that line? I'm gonna
Mhm.
look it up.
Yeah.
It's in I think it's in the paper Relation of Adjusters to Mortals.
Yeah, it's one of
Yeah,
my favorite quotes.
I got it here. So paper 110,
Poise.
Relation of Adjusters to Individual Mortals. So it says lack of spiritual capacity makes it very difficult to transmit to such a material intellect the spiritual truths resident in the higher superconsciousness. It is to the mind
Look.
of perfect poise, housed in a body of
Hey.
clean habits, stabilized
Oh.
neural energies, and balanced chemical function, when the physical, mental, and spiritual powers are in triune harmony of development, that a
Trust me.
maximum of light and truth can be imparted with a minimum of temporal danger or risk to the real welfare of such a being.
Gang
Yeah.
gang. That's how that light can come
A
in and you
dang
won't go
quote.
crazy, dog. Mind, body, spirit progress. You make sure your mind, body, spirit levels are
Triosophy.
to the maximum, that triosophy and that God fragment, that embedded assistant, that eternal light guide will actually be able to talk to you. You will communicate with a superhuman intelligence, an NHI,
Yeah.
if you will, the highest type, and it's within
True
you.
that.
I mean, I was talking to this with Magma Sloth, and you kind of heard me say this at the end of our last podcast. I think Taychilla. We're just like, I got a download the other day. It was crazy. It's like a mental image dropped in, just thinking about the thought adjuster, and it pretty much like it said it in different words. It just said like, there is an ancient cosmic advanced light technology that is within you. You yourself are a byproduct of ancient creator gods. We are ancient light living technology, and we have it within us, and it's pre-installed within us, deep within us, and nobody knows there's this secret code lying within us. We have an embedded assistant from the source of the entire universe, like a cosmic assistant rolling with you that can answer questions you can bounce ideas off of. Everybody interacts with it, but usually it's subconsciously. You can interact with it consciously. You literally, I don't want to call it like an AI assistant walking with you, because it's not artificial, it's not AI, but it's like an embedded cosmic assistant of advanced, super advanced light technology from a billion-year-old advanced stellar race that's within you, and you can commune with it. You just got
Yeah.
to be conscious of it.
Yeah.
And
You know, I think that's one of the most revelatory things in the Urantia book, at least for me, like that idea of the thought adjuster within you that you can commune with and um, like it's a source, and I don't know, like it gives you so much, I don't know, spiritual drawing power, that idea.
Amen. Unlimited. Can you imagine finding a gravity well of unlimited proportion within your
the higher
own soul?
self.
Yeah. But this like relationship idea with it, like this thing within you guiding you and leading you forward, and all you have to give it is your cooperation.
Yeah, I think of it funnily, like, I know it sounds stupid, I keep saying AI, but like, you know, like imagine like a floating, hovering AI that's like hovering above your head at all times. Kind of looks like that thing that Luke Skywalker practiced his lightsaber against, you know, that little floating ball that would shoot lasers at him while he was blindfolded. I picture it like that, and you have one, an invisible one, hovering around with you at all times. And it's not a piece of tech, it's not a piece of like robotics, it's a divine light technology from the source of the universe itself, and it's always with you. You can talk to it, you can ask it questions. It's always actually trying to communicate with you. So just listen to it. It's always going to tell you to do the best that you could possibly do in a situation. It's always going to tell you to do the right thing. That's why when you make wrong decisions, you feel cut off from it. So listen to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I got ecstatic when I figured out, wait a second, I'm like an ancient advanced biotechnology created by creator gods, and within me there's like a light codex that I can unravel. Oh my god, I want to figure that out. So that should excite other people too.
Yeah. I always picture my thought adjuster as being like super annoyed, like just sitting there waiting for me. Like, come on,
dude,
you moron.
I think that too. I think a lot of it, I mean, you know, they don't get pissed, but if we're gonna be funny with jest with it, a lot of adjusters are probably like annoyed on Earth, like, god damn it. Like, we get so close to show you a cool glimpse of the truth, and then you turn it into like pink shoes with fucking fair like colored laces on it.
Smash it with IPAs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, see, that's what I wonder too, because like, okay, so I'd be drinking the IPAs, I'd be smoking blunts and shit, but I still get these like revelatory downloads and transmissions even when I'm under the influence. And I'm like, I make jokes to Jessica, I'm like, damn, nigga over here training with a weight vest on, you know? Like once I take, I'm just practicing like with one hand behind my back, because like we took a break from drinking last week, and we, you know, I noticed, so I was like, oh fuck, like I thought I had a lot of energy just drinking and smoking. Oh no, this is like I have unlimited energy. Like people thought I was too much when I was drinking and smoking, dude. You fucking turn that shit off. I'm gonna fucking run 10 circles around you before you blink. And then I started thinking about it, like that quote specifically you're talking about, like, yeah, how much does that interfere with thought adjuster communication? I find that it does, in the sense that like when I woke up in the morning, I had so much more energy, dude. Like I wasn't groggy at all, and I was just like ready to fucking go. Yeah. So I could accomplish more missions and tasks for the adjuster, but maybe because I've been drinking and smoking so long, I've just got used to it that I can still somehow maintain communication. All I'm saying is like somehow it's working, it's happening, but I notice a difference when you stop. And it's like, from my point of view, it's like just practicing with the weight vest on, or, you know, practicing with weights around your ankles when you're sprinting, and then you take that shit off and you fucking float. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's the only way that I was just thinking about. I was joking around with Jessica the other night about it. It was funny. But what does that mean? What does that mean? If me as a being can drink and keep going. Yeah, what?
Sorry, I was gonna say finish what you're saying, but also tell.
Fuck, we're losing you, Taylor.
Cutting out.
Yeah, you might be getting off Wi-Fi, but whatever. I was saying, like, what does that mean? Well, I'll wait for him to come back because I want him to hear it too. What were you gonna say?
Well, just about like think about it even just simply from the physical, right? Like if you
Mhm.
start if you say you go hard at the gym for a month, like really buckle down, eat well, start getting in shape, you got your nutrition dialed in, you just feel amazing. Like you feel like you can
Oh
take
yeah,
on the
you do
world.
100%,
So
1000%.
it's got to be the same, like with the mental aspects and the spiritual aspect, like what you talk about, triosophy, having all three working in harmony.
Exactly.
I think that's when the most stuff, positive outcomes can happen.
Yeah, and I do notice that like even when I'm tip top shape, working out, eating good, I'm still drinking, and
Yeah.
I mean, I must be a Terminator. I don't fucking know. It just doesn't affect me. I just keep going. But I do notice myself sleeping better without drink and dreaming better without drink, and that's enough to make me want to stop. But B, like this is an existential question from my point of view, and I'm not even looking at it from my eyes. I'm almost looking at myself from a different set of eyes, as if I'm not myself. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what does it mean if a being can output and do more for the cosmic kingdom than another being while he's drinking and smoking and someone else isn't? What's that? Does that mean the being who's not drinking and smoking should turn it up more, or does that mean the being who's drinking and smoking is just going stupid hard?
Mm.
These are just questions I ask myself because like I see a lot of niggas talking and ain't really doing shit, but they're all hoity-toity like, yeah, I don't smoke, I don't drink, and nigga, I'm smoking and drinking, fucking heck, taking a sledgehammer to the fucking kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So like, what does that mean? Like, that's not an excuse to smoke and drink because, like I said before, you can just stop it and I can run even faster. But it's just funny. Is your ranch
Right.
so fucked up
Well,
that I can
it's
maintain
not
this?
like
Like, what the fuck?
you're a really social, like outgoing person, and there is something about alcohol. Like there seems to be a sweet spot where social interactions can be elevated with the right amount. There's definitely an overboard. There's a a point of diminishing return. But like if you're just hanging out and having a couple drinks, it's I don't know, like things get looser, the conversation just kind of gets lighter. At least that's my experience.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, I'm wrestling at the moment too because you guys know me just as well as everybody else. Oh, shout out to the chat. What's up, Trainwreck? Back in the chat. What is Jenny doing? What's going on? Number one commenter. What's going on, Jenny? And Abigail. The movie Dogma, the angels are immune. Yeah, convict ourselves, and that causes complications. You have no convictions, which is good. I mean, I try not to have convictions. I mean, I think about it at night when I go to sleep. I'm like, will I wake up in that seraphic training room in the astral realm, or will I be more conscious of it if I don't get as drunk or smoke as much blunts? That crosses my mind currently, and that's what me and Tay Trilla are actually texting personally because we keep waking up in these weird dream states, almost in similar places. Dare I say, in the same dream. But I want to get more conscious of it. So
Mm-hmm.
if that means not drinking and smoking for a week or a month or two, and then downloading the light codes and that shit's fire, then hell yeah. But like I'm over here talking like I ain't done it. I've not drank and not smoked I've quit for plenty of amount of time. So, and when I do quit, all I say is my dreams come in really good and my energy comes in nice, but nigga got that weight with that weight vest on, bro. I can still run. Is that something I'm gonna have to deal with in the mansion world? I'm gonna be like, well, You drank and smoke a lot, and we got to work with that. And if that's the case, I'll work with it down here. But like, fuck, dude. I want to know. Like, I want to know because I really want to know. You know, I really want to hit my peak potential, and I don't want to be
We gotta
judged
get
by others because you drink and smoke. So many people fucking will look at me drinking and smoking, and I'm black and I have dreads and shit, and they'll like, they'll write me off like I'm some dumb fuck, and it's so annoying. And like, should I quit because of that, or am I giving into it? Like, fuck what they think. I'm just gonna keep drinking and smoking. I'm not gonna change myself up because of them. They're the ones that got the fucking problem. All these questions.
Yeah.
Maybe if I wasn't
Everybody
black and if I was
judging you
white,
while
maybe
you're
they wouldn't look at it like that. Yeah.
telling me I can't drink a beer while I'm on the bench. Give me a break.
Exactly. And now I have no value in the social setting because of this. I'm a reject. But I don't know. It's interesting.
Drinking
Interesting
rye
stuff.
and crushing weights.
Fucking smoking meth. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Sorry, guys. D-Bake's gonna bring it there. Fucking, I know Tate Trilla had an angle and we lost him to the fucking.
I know he was a
Mechanical
Sorry, I'm
Marbles.
back, fellas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
You
hear
hear
what I
me
was
yet?
saying? I was over here pouring my soul out to the people.
Yeah. I hear you, brother. No, it's we people. You're right. The judgment around this topic is like so high that people don't. They almost like get analysis paralysis, and there's
Yeah.
definitely too much like guilt involved about the types of stimulants that people get caught on. But I guess I don't know. It gets associated with different highs and lows of life. It's a lot to it, but
Yeah.
it's like you just have to test. Like you have to A/B test, but.
What were you saying before you went all roboty? You were saying some fucking thing.
I just wanted to about the classroom that you woke up in. I
Oh,
wanted
yeah,
you to
yeah,
tell
yeah.
that story, and then I can kind of tell my little bit of
Oh,
my
dude.
experience with those
Fuck.
classrooms and the specific
Yeah,
overlap.
boy.
Yeah, because we got a fun overlap.
Let's go there. Yeah, dude, that's fucking thanks. Can you bring it all full circle? And we started off the episode talking about this. Yeah, I said, so one day I got this download. That's what it was. It was within you is this ancient cosmic light technology. You have an embedded assistant within you. It's installed, pre-installed. Just access it. It's the light, your divine light. Access it. It's ancient, advanced technology from the beginning of the universe. It'll guide you back to the truth. And it called it the embedded assistant. Within us, we usually call it the thought adjuster because we're Urantia book readers, or the higher self or the over self. But when it said embedded assistant, I liked it. I'm like, okay, that's, it's modern terminology. So I liked it. When I get the download, I'm like, okay, I wrote it down. I have all my mental pictures channel in my personal Discord. I write every single thing down. And then I fell asleep that night. No, I fell asleep the next night, bro. And I had quit drinking. So this is last week. I stopped drinking for the week just to see what would happen. Me and Taylor were texting, and I fall asleep and I become lucid for a split second, bro. Like in the dream, I am in a classroom and there's people around and I'm seeing a side profile. I'm pretty sure it's a dark-haired lady. And she says the term embedded assistant to the classroom. And when she says that, bro, I snap into consciousness and I go, hey, I said, hey, that's mine. I just got that download a couple days ago. That's what I just learned. And she looked at me and she says, it's not just you. And I'm like, what? And this is what I got from, I'm just going to use my own words. It was like, when it happened to me, I'm like, oh, I'm really excited because, thought adjuster, it's a weird term. We're trying to find you want to make a hot way that non-UB readers can understand this. An embedded assistant, I like that, I was excited about it when I got the download. And I'm like, when you get the download, you're like, okay, I don't want to say I feel special, but it's a special moment, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to run with this. It's cool. Planetary HQ. I'm on boots on the ground. I got a download. I'm fucking feeling special. Whatever. Fall asleep. Next 2 days, I woke up in that thing and the energy was like, so I heard her say it and she goes, it's not just you. Like, she kind of shushed me off, like, be quiet, it's not just you. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then the energy I got was, okay, it may feel special on your side, but it's totally normal on our side. And we're actually sending this to multiple beings on your planet. And I was like, oh, okay. So it took away my ego sense of specialness, but it actually added the special value to it. So I still feel like it was special, just less like it was just for me, you know? And then the energy was like, you're part of a working group and we're sending this to multiple people on planet Earth. It's true, so run with it. And that's all I got from it. So I fall asleep. That's it. Wake up in the morning, write it down, then I text it to Tate Chilla. And then I think you could take it away from here.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, the whole waking up in a classroom thing, like I've had a lot of these, and they really started when I was doing like the out of body meditation exercises. And it's not that, there's a lot of different, I don't know, angles to, when it comes to out of body, like, am I really out of body? Am I this? Am I that? But like, I will say, having lucid dreams, since I was a kid, and then doing the out of body stuff, it gives a little bit of contrast, like a dynamic, a comparison. And then there's this weird space in between where, if you're doing both of those practices, you notice they start to like overlap a lot. And it does make you then question how many of my lucid dreams are possibly real places. Like, I'm not generating this VR experience absolutely like in my mind. Like, how do I know the difference? And it's like a big question that I ask a lot, but I just want to give that context because this classroom scene happens like so often that, and I've heard it in a theme with other people that have like, been trying, the astral projection stuff, etc. So there's definitely like a theme. There's definitely a research, thread that you could do to compare experiences. But yeah, so let's see, I'll go to, it was like a day or two after, D-Bake texted about, that classroom experience where I'm D-Bake, I'm still hearing a little bit of echo, unless that's coming from Shane. It's a little confusing to work with.
Thanks. No,
I'm just on
me.
my cell phone, so
it's probably me. Is that
better? Okay. Yeah, I'll let you know if it comes back. It doesn't sound like it's gone now, but yeah, perfect. So yeah, these classroom scenes, like, and it's always fun, like when you become lucid in a classroom with like all these other people, and you start to get to act out like your free will and actually explore. It's the very childlike moment of excitement. It's just like any other lucid dream, except like after you wake up in the classroom like 50 times, like you start to get a sense that it's not that these people are real. Like they're not just generated by your own mind. And so, okay, yeah. So I woke up in a classroom, and I caused a little bit of ruckus. Like it's that same excitement where like when you wake up and you're lucid and then you try and tell everyone in the lucid dream that it's a dream or something. And there's like an infectious energy and excitement, around that like WTF moment. And so I caused a little bit of ruckus and excitement in the classroom, and then I like lapsed in consciousness. And when I came back to and became lucid again, I was in like a different classroom with way less people in it. And the vibe I got was that it was the detention classroom. For people who disrupt class. That's what detention is for. Yeah. And that's kind of what I had just done. And I'm like, okay. And the last thing I did in this classroom is that there's only a couple of people there. I didn't have any like conversations that I can remember, but I do remember looking underneath the desk and I saw what looked like just a note. And it was basically like, I couldn't see exact text, but it was basically like D-Bake was here. And so I texted D-Bake. I was like, and this, no, granted, this is after D-Bake already told me his classroom experience, like a day or two after. Yeah. And so I'm like, D-Bake, I think what I asked him over text was, hey, do you remember leaving a note under a desk, like saying D-Bake was here or something. Because I'm trying to corroborate,
Dude,
like, the
that shit was
experiences
fucking crazy.
a bit. And yeah, so D-Bake, what did you write a note for me? Did you leave a note in the detention classroom?
So this is how it went down. I told you the story, and I'm like, shit in the chat, whatever. And then he replies with that shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? And right when I read his words, another image flashes in my mind. I'm like, God damn it, what the fuck? The image was of me engraving something low key, trying to like sneak it away from the teacher, like on the underside of a desk. And I used to do this all the time in like middle school when I was in school. The desks were shitty, and you could just take a pen and grind it into a line over time, and it would create like an indentation. And I'd tag it up all the time, and I got in trouble for doing it. I used to do it in detention, whatever. But when he sent that to me, image flashed in my mind of me being in that astral or mirantial classroom and carving my name into a desk in one of those desks in the astral realm. But this image was not from recent. This image was from a while ago. I just happened to recall it, and I didn't know if I was truly recalling an image and from Taylor, stimulating that, or if Taylor's sentence made me generate a fake imagination. It could be either one. I understand that, but it was weird how it happened.
Damn.
Right. Exactly.
So
and go ahead, Shane. Go ahead.
Well, this just has me thinking this is exactly why we need to go to Monroe together, because this is the exact type of thing that happens there where you're given the space to focus on having these types of experiences, and you're journaling. So these types of corroborations, someone might listen to this and be like, well, whatever, like that's just like a coincidence, or just kind of disregard it. But this stuff happens all the time at the Monroe Institute, and you're all having these experiences, going to these, you say, however you want to say it, astral realm or whatever, and you're writing down in your journal, and then all these things start getting corroborated. Right?
I got the goosebumps
like you're literally
right now.
having. Yeah, and that I knew that, like, that was the first thing I thought of when I got back. I'm like, I want to go back there with a group who's like
together, dude. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
We might
that's
fuck
amazing
around
that you guys
a
had
chariot
that.
of fire, dude. Yeah, it's not our first either.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And so
it's weird, dude.
like,
I don't know.
What do you think about what do you think about the not drinking component of that?
The pictures just come in clearer, more HD. That's about it.
Yeah.
And I have more energy throughout the day. But I wouldn't say that it diminishes my connection with the adjuster, because I know it's a reality. You can't, once you know it's a reality, it's kind of hard to take that away from yourself. But I could see how if you were not connected with it, it would highly create a barricade for that, But
right.
If you want to upstep your shit from 1080p to 4K, yeah, you stop drinking and smoking,
Also, I think there's like the base level of consciousness that we have is not necessarily the most optimal, and that's why we have to do so much work to like you have to work the physique if you want to keep it like tip top shape to be able to do a lot of physical feats. And so I think the same is also with like, I guess, the consciousness, the meditative aspect, the mental like sharpness and clarity that's like needed to like become lucid, I guess, in a dream. And so I do think that like to really maximize these things, we do need to do like exercises like, Monroe has all these different techniques and, methods that you go through. And, this is what, like literally the only reason I got into the Eastern yoga stuff, partly because, I realized, meditation feels good. Like I'm in this flotation sensory deprivation tank and I've never felt more at peace. But then what attracted my attention quickly was oh, you can actually you have these levers, and you can get into these altered states of consciousness and become like aware of them, like, and that can become a recurring thing that like you can do yourself. It doesn't just happen to you. And that's sort of what I'm obsessed, I guess, about, is all those methods, techniques, the lineages that say, hey, we can do these crazy things, and here are the steps that you have to walk through to also get there.
Whoa. Okay. Do you see what Jenny said in the chat earlier? She said, the
No, I'm
higher
not on
self
the YouTube,
connection
but please read
aside,
it.
consider how alcohol thins the blood, therefore having an impact on your vascular system as far as a pump valve system. CSF flows through microtubules within a type of crystalline mineral matrix suspect for our consciousness. Well, I don't know what CSF is. Those microtubules may rely on part of your vascular pump system, and your blood is thinning. So, and we just read that the analysis of gateway process that the CIA did, and they talked about, remember, your heart can create a standing wave with your brain through pumping.
Mm-hmm.
So if you thin the fluid in that pressure system, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Just thoughts to think about. But
definitely, I mean, it
sorry,
affects, I guess, how the nutrients get carried or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for the chat. Appreciate it. Shout out to the chat. Yeah, dude, you were saying what? Going, if we all went to the Monroe Institute together, might summon a Pleiadian?
Yeah, right. No, I was saying like the answer is not like if you just stop smoking and drinking, you're gonna have all these crazy experiences. It's like you have to supplement it. It's because our base level of consciousness is not, it's not good enough to just automatically do these things. That's why people don't think these things are real. If everyone was naturally having these experiences, it wouldn't be on the fringe. And so you have to like supplement. And some people, because drugs and different substances alter the consciousness and sort of change the way we tap into the various bandwidth of energy coming at us. That's sort of the natural go-to. But then there's these like lineages that say they've developed all these skills and abilities and magical powers. And so I'm like trying to use the Western mindset to kind of really synthesize and be like, okay, what really is the most efficient practices that we need to add into our life, rather than just being like, oh, if I go cold turkey and I eat well, that's enough. Like I want to get to the super conscious
future light codes, dog. You're talking them future light codes, fool. Fuck yeah, he's in the future, man. Yeah, no, that's for real. I think you're talking super cultural concepts right now. Fire. That's fire. Sorry, I sound like a dumbass. I'm just saying, fire. But I'm processing in my mind. Yeah, it's true. It's just a totally new logic-based value system that you perceive reality from. You're no longer stuck in that conditioning. You're no longer judging based off material externalizations, and you're now judging based off internal values. But it's really hard to perceive that through the external reality, from person to person. It's hard for me to see that inside of you when I can easily just see you drinking and smoking.
Yeah, I'm trying to follow. I feel like I didn't fully follow what you were saying.
Like you're talking like an advanced, like you're talking about like I'm picturing an advanced society, their value system.
Okay.
And I feel like you're speaking from that point of view, like judging the being based off the internal mind, body, spirit values that they have, as opposed to just the externalization of them either smoking or drinking. And that's a totally different value system than our current society has. And that's why I said you're speaking from the future. That's fire. That's fire. Is that what you're saying?
I think that does match. And like, I think to kind of inspire, the viewers is like like, I do latch onto that. picture yourself, anyone listening that is, if you're here on the channel, like you're already into this stuff. So you
These
living in
guys
the
are fucking
21st
crazy.
century, you're living in the 21st century, but you're 5,000, 10,000 years in the future in terms of the average consciousness and value system of humanity. And that is
Yes.
100% possible because that value system is
Yes.
entirely relative. It's literally just an
Snap on
average
that.
curve.
Snap on
And
that.
what you're trying to exit the curve. Now there's a momentum though that comes with that curve. Literally like 90% of the environment or more around you is conforming you to this curve, which does not include these psychic abilities, which does not include, a concept that like you can train and use all these techniques to develop your psionics. People still
Yeah.
think that they still teach that like, oh, the reason you need to give up drugs is because it's bad and it's you're guilty. Like imagine if we taught the reason you don't do excessive amounts of drugs is that the biocomputer system that you have, if you run it in a certain way using some extra additional techniques, you can take control of the CPU. You can overclock it.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
And if you think of it like that, you're like, oh, overclock my CPU. Like it's not that drinking is bad. It's just that you can't overclock the CPU in the same way if you're always thinning out the blood, or if you're always shifting your consciousness in a specific way. Because here's another way I think about the stimulants, the external additives that we put in our car, motor oil, body, biocomputer system, is that like oh, I had the train, then I started to lose it. I think I can get it back. Yeah. So let's see the different additives.
If you need a digit and go with the new one, go with it. Fuck it.
New light code. Just download a new care package.
Real quick.
Get that train back on the track.
Oh, I was saying, okay, a different way to think about like this, I guess the stimulants that we add is that, here, I got it. Okay. So when you use like the external chemical system to influence your internal body, when you use the external chemicals, what you're doing is you're applying pressure. You're changing your consciousness through the medium of the body, because the body is like a controller for the mind. But the mind is also supersedes the body. And there's an interesting balance there. Like to get your energy, your motivation, which is technically mental, it still connects with the physical, because if you're totally out of whack with the chemicals, the serotonin, your body's not going to feel motivated, so that your mind, which may be super motivated, it can't express that through the body unless the chemicals are coherent. And so that's why we use so many chemical additives to try and stimulate a type of synchronization with the mind that we want to have. And so what I'm saying is that we can't totally negate and be total mentalists where all we do is like meditate. This is the reason. So to change our body and the chemicals to synchronize it with the higher superconscious mind that the higher self can bring higher light codes through, is that this is why there's all these physical techniques associated with these meditation lineages. Yoga. Most people know about all the physical postures, the asanas, because that's what the American industry has sort of modernized and industrialized. But like if you read the eightfold path of yoga, I think they call it Patanjali's eightfold path or something. You actually see like the full scope of yoga, and the physical movements are like 1/8 of that whole process. But that process is important because we need to sort of influence the chemicals in order to express our mind, which is so like locked into the physical body. So yeah, I think that covers the code that I was trying to transmit there.
I mean, you're fucking over here channeling Jesus right now, because everything you said was just aligning up with this one Urantia quote that I can't find right now. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Jesus says it's not enough to stop doing bad. You have to start doing good.
Damn.
And that's exactly what you're saying. It's not about like stopping the drinking. It's about overflowing, overclocking that hard drive. It's not a fucking justification to go crazy and be a drunk. Okay, guys, relax. But real talk, you said that shit. That's that future science. Shout out to JJ Hertek.
That was awesome.
Gang shit. That's what it is. Yeah. I mean, I feel that a lot, you know, especially around just hanging out with humans who aren't functioning off the light codes, the divine light codes. You be drinking in front of them and they'll be like, oh, I stopped drinking a couple months ago. And they're still just like, you know, like watching memes and not doing shit with their life. It's like they're judging people based off what you stopped doing. And then it always resonates with Jesus. Like, it's not enough. It's not about stop doing bad. You got to start doing good. And like a lot of people think it's like that. What? I don't drink. I ride with a seatbelt on. You know, you follow all the rules. You stop doing bad and now you're good. It doesn't equate in my mind. Like, okay, nigga, you good at following rules. Like, what the fuck? Is that what God wants? Just you're sick of following rules? Or does he want someone who just fucking ruthlessly creates good, you know? Like, because anybody can just stop doing bad. I mean, sorry, I said that so lightly. No, it's not that easy to just stop doing bad. But you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's easy to stop doing bad. It's hard to start doing good. You know what I mean? Back me up, guys.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. That's right. It's the true. That's fire. That's fire.
That's far. But yeah, I don't even know how long we've been going for. I think the people like it. That's cool. We didn't even give no intro or nothing. See, I like that. Joe Rogan be doing no intro. He just fucking goes into the convo. Mentioning Joe Rogan just lost 15 subscribers.
Uh-oh.
But speaking of drinking, because I deleted the last live stream and they actually couldn't hear what you guys were saying. You guys, I know you're a whiskey man, right, Shane?
Yeah. I'm a real Canadian. We drink Canadian
What
rye
does that
up
mean?
here.
Canadians drink whiskey? Oh, Canadian rye. Rye whiskey.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
That's what you guys
Yeah.
were talking about before. Rye is whiskey. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't whiskey just only in America? You can only make whiskey in America, right?
No. Hell no. It's just spelled.
Look up the definition of whiskey, dude.
Heck yeah.
What's the definition of whiskey?
Made in America.
No, there's different types of.
There is.
Of
There's
whiskeys.
like, okay, what's the difference between whiskey and like gin or bourbon? Whiskey versus bourbon. I think that's what it is. Whiskey versus bourbon.
Well, they're like a rye and a bourbon. Like, it's basically the ingredients and the production methods.
Okay. Yeah, whiskey is a broad category of distilled alcoholic beverages made from fermented grain mash, while bourbon is a specific type of whiskey that must meet strict U.S. production laws. It must be made from mash bill with at least 51% corn, distilled in the U.S. and aged in new charred oak barrels. Therefore, bourbon is not whiskey, but all whiskey is bourbon. Come on, put you up on game, little nigga. Yeah.
So
bourbon
America
can only be made
they
in the
made
US.
the standard for whiskey, which I included that. It can only be U.S. It's pretty nifty.
Yeah. So bourbon, you can only get bourbon through American oak
In the US.
aged charcoal barrels in the U.S. from a U.S. corn mash. That's kind of crazy that we're like, no, not whiskey. You have to call it bourbon.
Right.
Well, it's the same thing with, sparkling wine and
Different barrel.
champagne. Same thing, but
you're right.
champagne is from the Champagne region of France.
Oh,
You're
for
right.
real?
You're right. It's just because it's from the Champagne region of France versus sparkling wine.
That's
That's
right.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Look at that. You
And
guys
then
getting light codes
Canadian
and
rye.
alcohol codes.
Canadian ryes have to be 51, like minimum 50% rye grain in it.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, I wonder if there's like a specific Canada laws.
No, the whole thing about it, it's like for purists, it's not considered like the right
If it's over
way to make
50%.
it. Well, it's just like it's all about bending the rules. Like you can add different stuff, different grain mashes, but it's got to be at least 51% rye to be called a rye. But you can mix up
So the
your
other 49 can be way different mixes.
yeah. So you get lots of different flavors but
You put like strawberries and daffodils in mine. I would never do that, but yeah, I'm a whiskey kind of guy, dude. I like me a Johnny Walker.
nice.
That's Johnny Walker or shit. What do I like? I feel like a dumbass, dude. If I was at a bar, I'd fucking fire it out right now. I wouldn't even have to think about it. And now I can't even think about it. Jameson, come on, JMO.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
Jameson kind
he
of
runs
guy.
what, the Daily Bugle.
Yeah. What?
Parker. Joan Jameson, the Daily Bugle. Parker.
Oh yeah,
Spider-Man.
You're right. Spider-Man, huh? Yeah. I was like, he's talking about a superhero. I was gonna say Superman, but that's the Daily Planet, right?
Oh, you're right.
Marvel. Shout out to Thyron. But okay, so
dog.
we're trying to coordinate some Monroe Institute endeavors, and we're going to be doing a live podcast international conference, Urantia International Conference 2026, right? So be on the lookout for that, all the viewers. Deborah's saying Scotch. There it is. Deborah Atkinson knows. She knows.
Hey.
Scotch. She goes, hello,
Yeah, what's a
Scotch.
Scotch? How does that? What's the
You're
difference
right.
between Scotch bourbon and whiskey?
I think
Scotland.
Scotch is from
Produced in
Europe,
Scotland.
right? Produced in Scotland. That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. Produced in Scotland. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice Scotch.
Gotta be to be called Scotch.
Yep. Scotch is a type of whiskey made exclusively in Scotland from malted barley or other grains. Aged for at least 3 years in used oak barrels. That's crazy, the amount of laws they have. It must be in an oak barrel, charred for at least 1 year. That's crazy. Gangsta, shout out to the humans. Okay, so another question that me and Magma had to riff off this. Do you think they have drugs in the Morancha world, or in,
Ooh.
in
Good
the
question.
next after we die and we wake up on the next planet, do you think they have drugs up there?
Ooh, I got a hot take, but if anyone wants to throw out theirs first, go ahead.
Well, I'll let you go, but
I don't know, dude.
one thought I had a while ago was like, I wonder if psychedelics on this planet are some sort of outgrowth of the lack of spirituality, or like the rebellion, that had such a negative influence on spirituality on our planet is some
I thought you were
natural
gonna say they're from the
outgrowth of that.
rebellion. I was like, dude, that's a hot take.
No, they're in response to it, like a natural
In the response,
way
yeah,
to
like a
get people to
correcting.
tune back into spirituality. I don't know. It'd be interesting to know what psychedelics exists on other planets.
Sure.
Anyways, go ahead.
So here's my hot take, and I'll propose a question first. Is a flower a drug?
Mm.
You smell it, and it's chemicals, and it makes you go, oh, had a little reaction, a little flutter in your heart.
So like the coca
So
leaf,
then,
it smells real good.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
Sniff that shit.
all these different plants and stuff. So what I'm even like the effect of the sun on your skin, is that not like you're inputting
A
energy?
drug.
I guess it's not.
Okay,
It's
okay.
maybe that's a little bit different because it's not like a chemical. It's a light, but it's still activating chemicals that are natural in your blood. So maybe we're talking about specifically chemicals that you like ingest. Okay, so. But even food, even like anything we consume, is like has the potential to be, influence the chemicals. So it really depends on, I guess, your definition for drug. But what I'm trying to propose, and I actually got this because I'm reading this Thyron book. Got to link it up in the chat.
Oh my god,
It's like a lit
dude.
spiritual,
We need
like beautiful like thriller in the cosmos set in the Urantia universe, and
Prepare
it's
yourself,
dank.
people. You
Prepare
got some
yourself,
fire
and it's about
Thyron coming
Pleiadians.
at you.
It's about Pleiadians, and other stuff, and it's even got a little bit of fanfic to it too. Everything a human drama
Your
in
Ranchiverse.
space needs, and so they have these things. What do they call them? They call them like something like genetic pearls, and they like eat them.
In the Thyron
And
episode?
yeah, in the Thyron book, and it like makes them like
Fuck
drunk.
yeah,
it's
dude.
like their equivalent of alcohol.
What?
And
Yo,
they call them
that
something
is-
about these genetic
yo,
pearls.
What? Yo, that's
And
so
so
sick,
what I'm
dude.
proposing is that like the only reason we kind of estimate drugs to be bad is that when you continually to overload your system, like your molecules are reacting to the input that you're putting in, and after so long, there's tolerance that builds up, there's effect on digestive systems. It's just a cascade of push and pull. So what if there was a drug that you could input, or maybe what if your body in the afterlife is like good at processing things so that there's no long-term effect, but whatever you're ingesting still
Ooh.
affects the mind, or it
We
adds
can't
energy.
become addicts.
That is a drug.
Yo,
Yeah, that is still a drug, right?
your body's so dank you can't become addicts. No, yeah, you're right. That is a drug. That is still a drug.
And now
still
what
a
I'm
drug.
saying is that there's a bunch of things, like whether it stimulates our sense of taste or inner
Oh, so
beauty
what
or
happens then?
idea, or it alters the consciousness. Like that's all, like everything chemical or any energy intake that affects how we feel is a type of drug. And so I think that there are probably still substances or like condensed energy matter that it's not that we're digesting it through the stomach system, but we still intake it into whatever our body is, and it proceeds to have a reaction.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. And that's funny. I was thinking along the same ways when I was talking with Magma the other day when I kind of brought it up. Do we have drugs up there? I feel like the reason why drugs are bad down here is because there is so many. Our world is a vault of distorted concepts, and the more distorted concepts are in your mind, the less you're aligning with the truth of the universe, and when you're living in complete distortion, it's hard, and a drug relieves that pain, but if you're living on a planet and all of the concepts aren't distorted but they're truthful concepts and positive, there'd be less need to escape the distorted reality. The drug wouldn't hit as hard because you don't need to escape. You'd feel it still. And
yeah.
So if you're looking through that lens, now let's look at addiction, because addiction happens down here because you're swimming through a world of distorted concepts from birth. You hardly ever find a true concept through an average human life. So you're kind of just groping around in the dark. You take a drug, it makes you forget about that. You feel good. Therefore, addiction happens down here. But up on high, there is none of this negative, distorted world you can live in. So there's no like addiction. You feel the high, but would you keep going back to it? Yeah, maybe once, twice, 3, 4 times, But then you'd put it down and keep going because you felt it already. But there would be a problem if you kept going back to it. Everybody on that planet would be like, why does he keep going back to that drug? There seems to be a distortion, So I feel like it would weed itself out naturally. There are probably drugs up there, but people just don't become addicted to it because they're not escaping negative thoughts, But
Right.
could they still become an addict?
There's
Like, what does that
there's
look like?
also there's different classifications of like what we're calling drugs, right? Like there's compounds that you can obviously get addicted to and you're like chasing something from it, but there's also these like what I think of as more natural compounds, like say psilocybin or DMT, which is not necessarily addictive. It's putting you into some sort of state or allowing you to access something that seems to be spiritual, or there's some type of learning that can come from it.
Definitely. And you don't become addicted to that.
Right. And I guess that's what I was speaking to earlier about, like those things on the planet, is that some sort of outgrowth in response to rebellion or secular materialism? Even like those types of compounds can take a secular materialist, somebody who
Yeah.
doesn't believe in God, and they have one experience and all of a sudden they're changed, right? There's lots of those stories, but anyways.
That's a great point. You got anything to say, Taylor? I don't want to talk ahead of you.
I think there's probably more that we could go down the line of like that idea of like one atheist experiences psilocybin and now they're like spiritual but not religious. I think that's like a very interesting thing to point out. That also ties back in with like, I guess that concept of like everyday materialism and the average consciousness on Earth. It's like why are we so closed-minded that like spirituality is like often fairyland, or that it's for people who aren't smart or people who are superstitious? And I guess it's partly because like, yeah, to some level the history of religion all across the world is steeped in like primitive superstitions, but like we're kind of looking at it wrong. Like we think that that means that religion is like totally man-made and that we're not really tapping into a higher true concept. But I picture like true religion or cosmic reality, the thought forms, the original thought forms, they're like emanating, and they're actually the reason that animals start to like look up towards the stars, and they start to have primitive
Amen.
beliefs that
Fucking man.
they manifest as superstitions, but they're not at their core. The cause is not fake or entirely made up. It's the meaning is misassigned in these early types of civilizations and our thought forms. The meaning and the
You're not
reasons for
throwing the
why
baby
things
out with the
occur are
bathwater.
misassigned. But yeah, like the core of it is basically tapping into a true concept. You just can't you can't perceive enough of it. And when people take something like psilocybin, it just changes such like a large perspective at once that like, I guess all the religious stuff becomes possible again somehow. So I don't know. I feel like there's more that you can riff off that.
Yeah, for 1,000%. And I think you're kind of talking about where your spiritual level is, because like someone explained this to me when I was younger. Like weed is at a certain level. Let's say call it level 5, you know. If your spiritual level is level 1 through 4, when you smoke weed, you're going to experience a high elevation. But if your spiritual level is 6 through 10, it might bring you down, you know? So it depends on your own spiritual level. If it's going to bring you up, or if you're more advanced, it might just bring you down. That's an important concept that I kind of integrated into my philosophy. So it depends on your own spiritual state. I do want to take a second to touch on the stoned ape theory, you know, Terence McKenna, all of them, that the reason why humans evolved from apes is because apes started eating mushrooms, and that's what's responsible for their cognitive growth. And the mushroom is sent from space to evolve animals into humans. It's a very provocative thought form. I like it, but I don't agree with it. But thirdly, I do want to riff off like our planet compared to an advanced planet. So, yeah, because, you know, we're not here to talk about my past, but I dealt in the heavier drugs, the less spiritual drugs, aka like Oxycontin, heroin, meth, Xanax. I dealt that for a while, but those aren't spiritual drugs whatsoever. Those are very material drugs. Shane and I was talking from that point of view, like, you know, addiction in the stars, what these substances. But Shane was like, you know, I'm talking about more of the hallucinogenics. And I was like, yeah, the ones you don't really get addicted to. You do them and you're like, shit, I need to relax for a bit. On an advanced, like, because we're on Earth and our planet's so fucked up, when we smoke DMT or do acid, it brings us to that, whoa, you know, we start seeing the astral, quote unquote. But I can only imagine that on a super advanced planet that is like totally in line, mind, body, spirit with the truth from birth, if they did those drugs, would it give them revelation or would it just make them feel icky, you know? And to us, it makes us feel cool because we're such a low level, you know?
It's like training wheels, cosmic training wheels.
Yeah, okay, that's a good way to put it. Cosmic training wheels, yeah.
Like
And if
that,
an
I guess the
advanced
drug,
person took
you know,
acid, they'd be like,
psilocybin or
"Ew."
something is like that.
Okay, and to top it all off, I've done acid over 1,000 times. Yes, I said it on live on my own channel. I don't give a fuck. I haven't done it in fucking 10 years, so that was my college days, guys. I've done mushrooms probably a good 200 to 500 times. I used to sell that shit. But the last time I ever fucking did acid, I think I took like 5 tabs. All my friends were fucking, you know, we were doing it a good amount of time, going deep spiritual revelations. And I remember looking at my friends and they were, you know, saying goofy shit. And I look at them and I was like almost crying. And I remember being like, hey guys, this isn't doing anything to me anymore. I already think like this normally. And when I said that, they looked at me like I was crazy. And I remember that was like the last day I did it because I was like, I already think like this. I don't need the drug to think like this anymore, you know? So I don't know if that's a good sign or if I just went crazy that day and I'm still recovering, but one or two. But like you said, yeah, you know, once you open up the door with the key, you no longer need the key. You know, the door is open. You can't unthink a thought. Once you think the thoughts, they're there. You know, you can't unthink
The
it.
door is wide open with the keys of Enoch.
Hey,
Amen.
Track coming soon, mixtape coming soon. If you guys got any last words, I'm good to wrap it up right now. People are waiting for me. I got some family over, so.
Yeah, no, that's good. We got the drugs and altered consciousness, the deep talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna change this stream name to that. That was cool. We gotta do a real episode
August
about it for the channel
21st,
later.
baby.
Shouts to Jesus.
Are we doing a little outro?
How
Are we
dare
out
I,
yet?
dude? Yeah.
How dare you.
We're not out yet. We can do an outro. Shout to the Lord. Shout to Jesus. He was born today. If you guys are listening, today is his real birthday. I know, blasphemy. Are we going to address it now? No. We're going to leave you with blue balls, but we will do an episode about it in the future. He was born today, not on December 25th. Don't let the propaganda, Roman, paganist, compromisers teach you otherwise. Shout out to Mithra, born December 25th. I got nothing else. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to my brothers Taylor. You guys got anything you can leave them with?
Yeah, I feel like all the words of power were said, but I guess to reiterate I don't know, the most pressing things is that remember that being tapping into the superconscious is not about how many bad things you stop doing. It's about how many good habits and thought forms that you start picking up and then you actually gravitate towards, because it's not enough to because eventually if you're just like, here's all the things I want to cut out of my life because I know they're not good for me in the long run, that's like, you know, like D-Big said, it's easy to make that list, but it's harder to start loving, I guess, the higher thought forms, or what is actually going to replace my desire to tap into all those like stimulants or all those thought forms or the way that I'm expected to react in this social situation. Like, what is going to motivate me to actually tap into another way of being? And that is what you want to, I guess, search for, because without that, no matter how many times you try and go cold turkey or quit or think different or suddenly think more positive, it's never going to work. And so I know that's kind of abstract, but that's my mysterious exit from the conversation.
Nice. Well said.
Heck yeah.
And I guess I'll just leave it with, I'll say that if you're listening to this and you are some secular materialist who just believes that life is nothing meaningful and was just some giant cosmic firework, you need to go lick a toad or maybe grab a mushroom.
Gang.
Lick a toe. Let's go.
Lick a toad, baby.
You telling people to lick your toes, Shane? That's fucked up, dude. That's what is it? The Imperfection of
For
Days.
the
Go subscribe to him.
DMT,
You can get the
it's great.
toes if you want. Want to go lick his toes? No, I get it. I get what you're saying. People get the foot fetish.
Planetary HQ promoting drugs. Just kidding.
Yeah,
JK,
JK.
JK.
That's what I'm saying. And exactly. And if you're listening to this, get pumped up because we're promoting drugs. No, I'm kidding. We're not, obviously, but we're trying to give you that advanced teaching. We are totally aware of when you introduce an advanced teaching, people could not be ready for it. So if you run away from the saying, they're preaching to do drugs, that's not what we're saying. We're saying that don't judge off the external manifestation. It's not enough to do bad. You have to start doing good. We're not saying it's not great that you stop drinking after 5-10 years. That's amazing, dude. Perfect. That's a step forward on your spiritual path. But realize that there's more than just to stop doing things. Once you stop doing heroin, meth, drinking, Xanax, Oxycontin, that's a step forward. You have literally just made a great achievement on your spiritual journey. But there is another step to take. You have to start doing good now. I mean, the universe is infinite, so it's going to ask of you infinitely. So I know the drug journey was hard. I've been through it. And don't look at the next step of doing good as a burden. It's like fucking drinking a refreshing ice cold glass of lemonade on a hot day, dude. So it's not enough to stop doing bad. You have to start doing good. If you are as strong as I am, if you are as strong as the Father created you to be, then I know you will get through it. So trust me, I've been there. I've been at the depths of the drugs. I've sold them, consumed them, you name it. Been there. There is hope. So there'll be more of that coming in the future. Planetary HQ. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. My brother Shane O'Mac, Imperfection of Days, Tay Chilla, brother from another joint at the hip. You already know the deal. Gang, gang. Blah, blah. Random live stream. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.
Yeah, bye.